Right in my wheelhouse, baby. The funny part is, I said this was a great signing a year ago when he had made his way onto the Detroit Red Wings, but in this video we are talking about the newest Vancouver Canucks signee. GM Patrik Allvin announced today that the Vancouver Canucks have agreed to terms with forward Daniel Sprong on a one-year contract. Now, it's kind of funny to see business being done on a Saturday afternoon here, but it is Saturday, it's a nice day outside, it's a little warm, and the Vancouver Canucks have just signed Daniel Sprong. This is all coming a day after we had Rick Dhaliwal post on his Twitter account that the Vancouver Canucks do have interest in Sprong. He is still available. Rick was on the golf course going out there tweeting all this stuff out, and yeah, it was kind of a funny Twitter thread. The interest in Spring is high, for those asking. Sprong, he corrects himself a few hours after the fact. And then he's like, yeah, I love the replies to this. I was on a golf course and the beverages were flowing when I tweeted about Daniel Sprong. I clearly meant Sprong. You guys hold me accountable every day, and I love it. So, Dhaliwal had his funny little interaction there, but a day after he makes this thread, the Vancouver Canucks actually do make the signing. Now, if you go over onto the Vancouver Canucks and their website right here, let's go out there and read the Sprong press release. Vancouver Canucks GM Patrik Allvin announced today that the club has agreed to terms with forward Daniel Sprong on a one-year contract. Bringing in another solid winger will be a boost for our club this season, said Allvin. Daniel has matured a lot as a player and has shown he can contribute offensively when called upon. His addition up front will give us better depth and should help with more balanced scoring throughout our forward group. Sprong, 27 years old, appeared in 76 games with the Detroit Red Wings during the 23-24 season, posting 43 points, 18 goals and 25 assists, 22 penalty minutes, and a -5 plus-minus rating. The 6 feet 195 forward from Amsterdam, yeah, that's right, he's from the Netherlands, has played in 344 career NHL regular season games, split between Pittsburgh, Anaheim, Washington, Seattle, and Detroit, recording 159 points, 66 penalty minutes, and a -2 plus-minus rating, as well as 13 playoff games, posting 3 points, 4 penalty minutes, and a -3 rating. Sprong was originally selected by the Pittsburgh Penguins in the second round, 46th overall in the 2015 NHL Entry Draft. Now, fun little tidbit of information there. I just wanted to bust out some of the trivia. Daniel Sprong is indeed a former Pittsburgh guy, which should immediately raise some flags as to why the Vancouver Canucks would want this player. But at the same time, you actually have to remember that he was a pretty good player in the previous 2 seasons combined with Seattle and Detroit. Back-to-back 40-point campaigns, 21 goals with the Kraken, 18 goals with the Red Wings, and he actually was not a top 6 forward on either of these teams. He was a middle-to-bottom 6 guy, and oddly enough, Daniel Sprong has rounded out his game to the point where he could pretty much be relied upon as a bottom 6 caliber goal scorer really consistently. Like, it's odd, but this is one of those players that adds such a good level of offense despite not being a top 6 caliber option. Also, another piece of trivia, he was a second-round pick in 2015. That was the first year of eligibility he had for the NHL Draft, and if I do remember correctly, he was one of the first players in the 2015 draft to actually play in the NHL right after being drafted. You could note here he did get that 18-game sample in 2015-16 as an 18-year-old, despite the fact that he was a second-rounder. They kind of wasted a year of his development in Pittsburgh because he played 18 games with the Pens, but then got sent down, 33 games played with the Charlottetown Islanders, and 46 points over there. So, yeah, the Penguins in this time frame literally wasted a year of his ELC because they kept him around for more than 9 games. They thought he was good enough to stick around. He had 2 goals in 18 games, but eventually he got sent down, thus taken a year away from that eligibility of ELC sliding down. Either way, though, he was a part of the Penguins organization the entire time while Rutherford and Allvin were doing their thing. He wasn't really amazing with Pittsburgh, but as his career went on, that's when he started to solidify his NHL goal-scoring potential. But as you're taking a look at it right here, Pittsburgh, Anaheim, Washington, Seattle, Detroit, this guy has been all over the map. It's not because he's bad per se. It's just, if you're bringing in this guy to be that top 6 goal scorer, you say, oh, he has 20 goals, great, we can play him in our top 6, he'll get 30 goals, and he'll be on his way. No, unfortunately, I don't think Sprong is good enough to do that. I don't think he's good enough to stabilize in a top 6 role. A lot of Detroit Red Wings fans had this dilemma this previous season as well. Playing in the bottom of the lineup, Daniel Sprong was still really good at scoring goals, but if you give him more minutes, if you give him more of a role, he's not really going to excel in that. I mean, take a look at the games that he had played with the Detroit Red Wings. You're seeing 7 minutes time on ice, 8 minutes time on ice, 7, 8, 11, 9 minutes time on ice. He maxed out at some 14-minute games earlier on in the season, but for the most part, even towards the end of the year, 8 minutes time on ice against the Montreal Canadiens in the last game of the season, he had 2 points, a goal and an assist. Daniel Sprong is one of these weird guys that makes the absolute most out of the limited ice time he gets, and he provides some really good offense in those limited minutes. So if you head over to some of the extra analyses done here, Elliot Friedman says that the Daniel Sprong contract is 1 year, $975,000 a year. I think that is fantastic. We didn't even get into the dollar amount this entire video. If the Vancouver Canucks get 20 goals out of a $975,000 contract in their bottom 6, that's fantastic. I get it. I'm a big fan of all the rest of the guys that have rounded themselves out in the bottom 6 of the Vancouver Canucks. You know, we like Nils Åman over here. Linus Karlsson has been impressive. Vasily Podkolzin has some extra growth to go through. He's been great, though. Daniel Sprong, however, is one of these guys that will totally take a stranglehold in that middle to bottom 6, and he will add extra offense. If you wanted to keep that Bluger, Joshua, Garland line together, you wanted to keep the Miller, Besser, Suter line together, that's what it is, and you wanted to say that Danton Heinen plays with Elias Pettersson and Jake DeBrusk, Daniel Sprong on that 4th line will add offense. He doesn't even really need the best players around him to get it done. He just gets it done. He scored a bunch of points and goals playing in the 4th line of the Red Wings, and for $975,000, the Vancouver Canucks have this player available at their disposal. Let's go out there and take a look at some of the extra pieces of information here. The JFresh card went out there and had Daniel Sprong as a 74 percentile player with an 80 percentile rank for even strength offense, 98 percentile for goals, 78 percentile for finishing. He is one of the best players in the NHL when it comes to just being able to put the puck in the back of the net when you consider his ice time and his usage. That's not to say that I think he would excel with more ice time and more usage. It's just in the very limited sample he has, he makes the most out of it, and he is a very, very good scorer in that respect. You also had yourselves Rick Dollywall saying this, that Daniel Sprong thought Vancouver was a good fit for him. Besser and Garland are the only other right shots in the top 9. This guy can score, and he is excited about coming to Vancouver. There are some other lines going out there and talking about, hey, Danton Heinen, Miller, Besser, Hoglander, EP40, DeBrusk, Joshua, Bluger, Garland, Podkolzin, Suter, Sprong. If you wanted to have this as your line too, that makes a lot of sense in my mind as well. I mean, P.S. Suter has a lot of really good things going on for him. Either way, though, the Vancouver Canucks forward group is getting better, and a guy like Daniel Sprong, while it doesn't bring an Elias Lindholm-like impact, I guess you could say, it does bring the team a lot closer caliber of talent-wise to what they had at the start of the playoffs. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the Vancouver Canucks signing Daniel Sprong to a 1-year, $975,000 contract. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.